Cool. I think we're live.
Are we?
I mean, it says something. It says end stream instead of go live, so we're live.
Then. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Luthiers Question Time, episode 21.
21.
Almost as old as you now.
Almost as old as I am.
Actually, 53. 53.
That wasn't what I was
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
We were meant to have a big stack of
We were meant to have a big
questions,
questions,
but we have got none.
We have got
Hi,
none.
Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Dimples.
Hi.
Please ask us some questions.
Anything.
Any
Anything.
questions. Luthier questions, fine. Any other questions, also fine. We may or may not answer those.
As long as they're not political.
Don't get me started. Because I will ramble on and then I'll get told off. But if you want to hear my opinions...
No, we don't.
I'll set up my own little private stream. I'm eating pizza right now. What's your favourite topping? Ooh, I like ham and mushroom with mascarpone.
I'd be shot.
Why? Because you like ham and pineapple?
Yeah.
Or nothing?
I like ham and pineapple.
Mm.
Although, yes, if it's a good pizza, Thomas, just a margarita.
Mm.
Nothing wrong with that.
What about you, Thomas? What's your favourite pizza topping? What's that?
How to down tune,
please. Into
you take
what
your
do you?
tuner.
Yes.
You go, bing.
What do you want to? Do you want to know? Do you want to know tunings? This is serious. What? How far do you want to down tune? And do you want to keep it in standard and then drop it, or do you want to do drop D and then drop it? Because I can tell you the tunings.
You probably want heavy strings as well.
Yes, you may need heavier strings, especially
if you're going
very
down.
low. And I could talk
The
a
strings
lot about.
go floppy.
Yes. I would. The bridge. The bridge.
The bridge. Is it tremolo?
Yes. Is it a trem?
Because yes.
How do you not mess up the bridge? If it's
Well,
a trem, you're gonna have a bad time.
Because you'll need to reset.
Because you need to redo all the springs in the back.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, because you'll lose. Basically, the trem works with the tension of the strings and versus the tension of the springs. So if you tune down the strings, PRSSE tremolo. Yeah. So you're gonna tuning down the strings, so you're lessening the tension of the strings, and therefore the springs are gonna pull on it even more. So you want to loosen the springs off as well.
Yes.
But you're going to have to do that every single time for every single different tuning you do to make sure that it's balanced, which is why you should get a hardtail for down tuning.
Yes.
Going from standard to drop D is normally fine.
Yeah.
But if you're going from like drop D to drop C, you're going to notice a difference there.
Yes.
Although, if you swap the strings, say you went from drop D and you liked the tension and it was all set up, and then you changed the strings, but tuned down to drop C, but you had the same tension over the springs from those strings, then you wouldn't need to. It's only if you're using the same strings and tuning those strings down, because tens are not really meant to go to drop C. No. You probably want like 11, 12, 13. I mean, but then the tension goes back up because the strings are thicker.
Yeah.
So then you'd have to balance them less. So either you keep your strings on and mess with the springs in the back, or you swap your strings out for down tuning purposes. See, that's actually quite a good luthier question.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got there.
Down tuning is fun. Standard tuning, I don't know many. As people who watch the DGD stream will know, my knowledge of standard tuning extends to Metallica, and then like pop punk and Tenacious D and Knopfler. Yeah, that's about it. And then as soon as it goes below that, I'm like, oh, now I know a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Thomas, this is why we have more than one guitar. This is true.
This is true.
There is no videos on adjusting springs on the PRS if need be. It's just a screwdriver. There'll be 2 screws in the back.
Yep.
You take the plate off. You might not even need to take the plate off, but you probably will need to take the plate off. And then, yeah, just lefty loosey, righty tighty. So lefty, turn them to the left a couple times.
Yeah. But you'll have to retune every time you adjust for springs.
Yeah, adjust the springs, retune, adjust the springs, retune until it's balanced.
Yes.
It is the Thanos of guitars.
Yeah.
Perfectly balanced.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we spoke about down tuning and string.
Any
Any news?
Any news you've been doing for finishing course?
I have been doing the
Sprayed
finished course
some
this
green
morning.
on
I
it.
did spray some green on
Yeah.
it, yes.
Looking very green.
Yeah, it's not in there, is
It's in
it?
the corridor.
It's drying.
Yes. So yeah, you've been doing that.
How does one know if it is balanced? Well, it's not. It's
Because it will kind of sit parallel. To
yeah,
the
it
body.
sits parallel to the body.
Like the actual tremolo, the bottom of it will sit parallel to the body.
Yeah.
It won't be like me or
Yeah. I mean, you can't it can't obviously go too far into the body unless you've got a recessed
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
Exactly, Thomas. That's exactly what I was thinking. The perfectly balanced. Yeah. More questions,
please.
please.
What else? What else has happened?
What else has happened? We got some guitars in.
Yes. Joe.
1,
likes
2,
to order
3, 4,
everything in
5.
one big lot.
5 guitars.
Yes.
Do you need
varying sizes of box?
Do you need a ruler?
No.
No.
No, just your eyes.
Yeah.
And
Although it's not a bad idea. I found inside the cavity with the springs, if you've got the tension set right, just nice little pencil mark on the side, so you know where to put it. If say you're like, oh, I'm going to change tunings, and I know I want the tension to come back to perfect. I know that it's roughly going to be around this pencil mark.
Yeah.
I quite like
Makes
doing
sense.
that.
Makes sense.
We haven't opened them yet.
No, not a clue what's actually in them.
No.
Just a load of boxes.
Oh.
Precariously balanced.
Precariously balanced.
That is very dangerous.
Webster balancing. That's that. For a bone nut blank, would you cut the slots to depth, then remove excess material from the top, or cut them just deep enough and remove material from the bottom for final height?
Do it from the top.
Do it from the top, but you want to shape the top of your nut first. Like if it's just a square blank, you're gonna trying to file all the way through. It just takes ages.
You want to get it pretty close to where the
Yeah.
slots are actually going to be.
Yeah.
Then fine tune your slots.
Yes.
And then take more material off the top of the nut.
Yeah.
The idea is you want like the E, A, and D to kind of sit halfway
in.
out the slots.
I love how you said half out and I said
Yeah,
half in. I mean, it's the same.
And then the GB and the E, the thinner ones want to
all the way in.
They want to be flush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. The excuse me, dry throat. The only time I would really remove material from the bottom of the nut is for guitars with a 0 fret.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
the nut on those is only really there to give you the string spacing.
Matter.
It doesn't matter as long as it's lower than the
but not so low
0
the
fret.
strings fall out.
But not so low the strings fall out, but not too high that it's actually creating
You
a
don't
little
want the
extra
strings to
fret.
actually touch on the bottom of the nut in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. More questions. Yeah, we were meant to be given a stack of questions from upstairs because lots of people call up and ask questions over the phone, and instead of answering them. We were just going to write them down and answer on this stream. But no one's brought us any this week.
Nothing.
So
Nothing.
maybe
at
no
all.
one has called up and asked any questions.
I doubt it.
I also doubt it.
I doubt it.
But yes.
Yes.
Is it possible to buff out a scratch on a satin finish?
Not
No.
really. Yeah, not really. You'd kind of have to sand it out, at which point you might go through the satin layer on top.
Yes.
And then
And
it
you
won't
have a
look
bad
quite
time.
right, and the area will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And you have to refinish
Then you'll be
something.
annoyed.
Mm.
So my suggestion would be just live with it, and put more dings in your guitar.
That is a thing that people become very precious about.
I used to be.
I've got one ding.
I used to be very precious about
Yeah.
it, but now I'm just like, no.
The problem.
The more dings, the better.
The only ding that ever annoyed me was I had a ding right where my arm sat, but it was like a chip, so it would scratch my arm when I was playing. I love that guitar, but
I sometimes find ones on the back of the neck a bit annoying. Like if they're a deep dent and you can feel it.
oh, what as you
Like,
go?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they can be a bit annoying, but
Sometimes helpful. If you know where the dent is, then you know, and you're playing in the dark with no glasses on like me, then you kind of can tell where you are based on where the dent on your neck is. I know people have. I've seen like musicians put tape on the back of their neck for like first, third, fifth, so that they don't really have to.
Right.
They can feel where they are.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Are the tapers different between CTS and alpha pots? I have an Ibanez AZ2402 and the volume is an alpha 500K B pot from the factory. I placed it with an A pot, hoping to have a usable volume pot. I mean, generally you would have an A pot as the volume anyway, right? They are different tapers, A versus B.
Yeah, but like import guitars, like say Indonesian or Korean ones, they usually always use like just linear or B pots for everything. Yeah, I mean, I always use CTS pots. Then people say they're made in America. They're not. They're made in China, or Taiwan.
Or they used to be made.
They used to be made in America, but they're not. They're probably made in the same factory as Alpha, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they are. I think they're good quality. There's not really much choice, but we usually go with CTS pots.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'd always just swap all four of them out as opposed to just trying to swap one out. And realistically, they're all going to have slightly different values to them anyway. The tolerances are never going to be that tight. But I'd recommend CTS.
Yeah.
I would recommend CTS. And yeah, an audio pot for your volume is usually a good bet. Or logarithmic. It will just sound, the taper will sound better. As for the difference between the taper on CTS and Alpha, I have no idea. But they'll obviously be different between linear and log.
Yeah, because one's, I think of it as a graph, right? One's a straight line and one's a scoop up kind of thing.
Linear's straight line.
Yeah.
Logarithmic's an exponential curve.
Yes. Matt, in your opinion, do you think PRS pickups are adequate for chugging and metal tones, or would you replace?
Anything can chug.
Anything can chug if you put enough gain in front of it. I mean, I would. It's tricky. I mean, what amp do you have? What settings have you got on the amp? It would probably work, but you can always get better pickups for that kind of thing.
Yeah. If it's PRS SE, they realistically won't be the most expensive pickups.
No, they'll be fairly cheap.
But you'd probably say stick a set of bare knuckles in there.
Yeah, I know bare knuckles are expensive, but you can get the bare knuckle, the boot camp range, and they are pretty good, which are cheaper than their like made to order. Everything else is like a made to order range. Seymour Duncans, like, again, there's a bunch of Seymour Duncans you could use for metal. Lots of metal bands don't necessarily use the highest output pickups.
No.
They're just, lots of them want a bit more clarity in their pickups, and then they push their amp a bit more, and that's how you get your chuggy tone. I'm using line 6 and running it into, is that Fruity Loops Studio FL? Fruity Loops? Is that what it's called?
What?
I can't remember what it's
you're
called.
on about.
Is it FL? Let me know what that is. Or is it FI?
FR?
I don't know. To record, but the volume seems to be lacking. What line 6 are you using?
Spider.
Use the insane
The goat.
setting on your Spider.
The goat.
Yes. Fruity Loops. Yeah, see, I told you.
I have
Fruity
no
Loops
idea
Studio.
what that is.
Yeah.
No idea.
I've never used it myself, but I'm currently using Reaper, which is also free.
Yeah, you always bang on about that.
It's because it's free. It's good. I mean, I've basically spent the same amount I would have on like Logic buying plugins.
Line 6 pod. Hell yeah.
Line 6 pod, yeah. Multi Effects Pod Go. I mean, you can get some great sounds out of a pod,
I've never
especially
used
the
one.
new ones.
I've never used one.
You can get like some great sounds out of a pod.
Yeah.
Yes. Reaper is great. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I've bought like Get Good Drums, and I've bought like some amp sims, and I've bought a bunch of other VSTs and stuff. But Logic's 200 quid on its own,
Yeah.
so I'm like, the money I saved, I can spend on fun things.
Yeah, makes sense. Does make sense. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't know if I can share like pod, like how to get a good metal tone on a pod if I don't have a pod. But just turn the gain all the way up, and there you go.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. But you probably will need a noise gate as well.
Yes, it'll be hissy.
Yeah, 'cause
Hissy.
yes, the noise gate on my Kemper is so good.
Because it's a Ross Kemp.
Yes, so good.
Yeah. All right.
Any more? For any more?
Well, I need to go back to making tools.
You need to go back to sanding wood.
Sanding wood, yes.
All right.
So we shall leave it there for this week. And see you next week.
I'll see some of you tomorrow.
Yes, yes you will. I've given up on saying I'm doing the DGD live streams. It never happens.
Yeah, I don't know how we've got 2 microphones now. We have to like influencer it. Just be like, Sam's time to speak. Yeah.
Do you want my
on the drumstick?
Just have it on a
on a stick. Yeah.
No, he doesn't have it on a stick.
Does he not? Okay, of course not.
He has it on something else.
Well.
Well, that's nice to know, Thomas. I am just very busy.
Stacey, I have one. Is that a question? Do you have a question?
Probably for pod.
Or a pod?
A pod. Yes.
We'll just wait to see if there's a question. And we can stand and contemplate. Stare longingly into the There we go. Celluloid binding CA glue. See,
I tend to stay away from celluloid binding, to be honest, which is counterintuitive to what I usually do, which is vintage stuff, which celluloid is, but I tend to stay away from it because it's very flammable and it has a tendency to misbehave.
I think it's fine.
What do you not use ABS binding?
I've used both.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes, CA glue. Yeah.
I always find
glue binding on any binding.
Yeah, I always find the options for binding, like plastic binding, so celluloid, ABS, whatever.
PVC.
Not what? I thought you said BBC.
PVC.
PVC. I find the options are CA glue and end up sticking your fingers to the guitar multiple times, or use a heat gun to bend it into shape, burn your fingers multiple times, but use a longer setting glue like the Yoo-hoo stuff. So your options are burn your fingers or stick your fingers to the guitar.
Well, some people like acetone. I don't like acetone.
I don't like acetone because I don't think it melts it enough.
No. I also don't. Yeah, I find that super glue is good because it will properly soak into the. It will kind of melt the surface for binding, and it will properly soak into the wood that you're gluing.
The only thing you watch out for with super glue, CA glue, is if you put too much on and you haven't got enough pressure, it can solidify and create an actual.
Yes.
So you'd have your wood and then a lump of super glue and then your binding.
You've got to work quickly.
So you've got to work quickly with it. So.
But I prefer it.
I kind of do both lots of the time. I like to super glue the first set on, and then go back in with the heat gun and the Yoo-hoo glue and do the rest. I use the super glue on basically the hard bits, like the horns and the end grain.
Yeah.
So I put it on the end grain, hold it in place with the CA, and then I'll bend it into shape all the way around, and then I'll super glue it on the horn again. Because that to me kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
But then I burn my fingers and stick it to it, so it's great fun.
Swings and roundabouts.
Cat's music journey. I built a Gear for Music telly kit, and I wanted to drill string through holes. Any tips? Polonia wood with shellac finish. Thank you. Yes,
drill, which is probably going to wander.
Yes, I've also built a Gear for Music kit, but I didn't do the. I didn't do string through holes on it. So.
Do your 2 outer string through holes first.
Yeah.
Well, the way I usually do is obviously mark them all out and drill about halfway through the body with, I think it's like a 3mm drill bit.
3mm from the top.
Yeah. 3mm from the top. And then I will just do the outer 2 holes all the way through. Yeah.
You tell them how you do it.
I'll do the outer 2 holes all the way through, and then you can see on the back where they come out. You can then mark on your other 4 holes and drill them from the back. It depends what kind of ferrules you're using, but like I find if I then drill the other ones out with a 3mm bit, so all the holes with a 3mm bit, I can then use an 8mm brad point, and the brad point will follow the 3mm hole.
Yeah.
And drill out for my ferrules. Because otherwise, if you try and go through all the way through with all of the holes, it's like 45mm of wood. Polonia's soft wood. Chances are your drill bits are going to go.
Yeah, it does wonder.
And they won't come out the back. In a straight line, which will look not good.
Even on like hardwoods, they still wonder.
Oh yeah.
But another way I've done it is if you do drill all of them all the way through. When you flip the guitar, after you've drilled them all the way through, all of them, flip it, and then use a ruler, draw a straight line that connects all of them, and then with a brad point, follow the line and not the hole, the center of the hole. Because if you go in slowly onto the line, it's basically the same way as you do it, but you're going. I go along the line.
I know what you mean.
That's the way I do it with multi-scale because you can't get.
No.
Another way is to get like a Granger ferrule block and then route it, and then you don't have to worry so much about.
No.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard of Granger Guitars ferrule block, so you basically they give you like a brass thing with machined holes, 6 holes, and then you route out the cavity, and you can do it that way. That might be an easier way for your drill bit to not wander, because you don't have to worry about your drill bit wandering at all, really.
Maybe.
Like, you're routing into the body. But yeah, softwood, and also after you finish the guitar, it's going to be annoying because you're going to have to super glue masking tape the template onto the back.
Yes.
So.
True.
Yes. So, one way that is done in the school.
They use a template.
They use a template with a router. There's like a bushing on the router that fits into the holes, and then a quarter inch, 6.35 mil, and then you just plunge it into each hole. That does work quite well, but again, you're going to have to super glue a masking tape the template on. It's a bit of a faff, but it's very straight.
Oh yeah.
You're very welcome.
Cool.
Are the Crimson hoodies on the website?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. We don't go on the website or deal with that.
No, not our department.
No, I've already done like 4 other people's jobs today. I'm not doing that one. But I think there should be, Dimples.
Probably, yes. Yeah. But that's not a question for us.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We'll leave it there.
We will leave it there.
See you next week.
Yes.
Thursday. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Next Thursday here for more Luthier questions, and tomorrow for Daily Guitar Draw.
Yes.
Winning of guitars.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.